Hi, this is Steve Powell with EasyTRC. Wanted to give you a rundown of all the new features we put into EasyTRC version 3.3. About 20 different updates here, so I want to run through them as quick as I can. Feel free to watch the video again or give us a call. We're happy to give you a demo of the new features, talk through them, and make additional adjustments as needed. Also, we'll try to make little vignette videos so that we can have them integrated into the system at some point so that you can get training on specific aspects of it without having to watch a giant video like this one. So with that, let's get started. One of the first improvements you'll see is on the view available sponsorships that are available to the public. You don't have to log in. You can click on view sponsorships here. This list is now exportable as a spreadsheet, so you can actually sort these items as well. This shows what's available, what's sold, and how many are left, if it's sellable or tradable. But you can actually export this to a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet, and people can do additional things with that. Next one, I'm going to log into the system here. Once we get in here, you'll see a few minor improvements here to the home page. Items sold now has a list link directly to the item sold. Previously it linked to the people and to the buyer, but it did not link to the actual product sold. We've gotten rid of all of the ellipses throughout the system, so if you had a longer named event and sponsorship type, it ellipsized it and made it smaller. We don't do that anymore. Here's a good example of that. It now just stretches to 2 lines, so it's much easier to read. Previously you had additional information there on when you clicked into them, but it was ellipsizing them on the screen. So membership sales are now able to be completely hidden. So for those of you that have campaigns that do not want to offer membership sales or renewals, you can turn off that product type in the system. But previously those were still visible on screen. We always assumed that everybody was going to sell memberships through the system, but obviously some people are in campaigns 10, 12 years into campaigns, and they've extracted that from this system. So now you can still add new companies straight into the system and detail that. We'll have more of that in a separate video, but this point here is that you don't have add new membership always kind of in everybody's face and say, please don't click that. That was kind of silly to tell everybody that. The team listings, if I go into this tab real quick, if I'm on a team, I'm not on a team here, but we've added totals down here to the bottom. Those were never there before, so I may add a little more information there for everybody. The next thing would be the product search. If I go back to sell, and I'm actually going to look for some items, it's a lot more dynamic now. So if I look for golf, that was finding things, but in here you had beverage cart sponsor, so you had items that were, you had to have everything spelled exactly right. So now if you actually split those apart, it actually works a little better. So now my point is that previously you had to get names exactly right, like closest to pin sponsor, you had to search for that kind of thing. But if you did like the beer cart, now you can type beer cart sponsor and you'll see the beverage beer sponsor, the beverage cart sponsor, and the cart sponsorship. Those are 3 different names that would come up with that search. So it's more of an anding of these names up here instead of being a rigid grouping of that sentence together or wording together. So the goal grid on the leaderboard, I'm going to hop over. Let me hop over to an old campaign. I don't know, again, as an aside here, if I hop over into the campaign settings and actually go and I see the current campaign, I'm going to hop into an old campaign here. I'll get into a couple new features here in a moment, but let me hop into the old campaign just so I can go over to the campaign leaderboard. So it's got a little bit more data in here in week 6, so that I can show you a lot more detail in here. So the goal grid on the leaderboard now has a grand total column as well, or row. In here as well, so you can see grand totals of cash and trade and cash sales and trade value to date, as well as this current period. Additionally, on this you can now choose the number of individuals that are listed in this report. So here we've got it set to 30, and so you're seeing the top 30 individuals. Now this is for the current period and for campaign to date as well. Now, before I scroll any further, though, here's another addition here. We have grand totals, cash and trade concatenated together in this list, but some of you have asked, I want to see some grand totals for just cash contracts and just trade contracts. So we've got that as well. So you've got everything together, you've got cash only, you've got trade only, split apart, and you've got the top 30 individuals for the current campaign period, meaning here it's week 6, and then in here you've got For a campaign to date, you got the same concept here. So you can flexibility on 30, got the grand totals, you've got cash, you've got trade, all the way down. So lots more flexibility, lots more detailed information coming out in there. So as you probably have also see a bunch of these little rookie tags all over the place. So we've had a couple campaigns that have wanted to indicate rookies in a different way. A rookie can be somebody, it's their first year, second year, third year. We added the flexibility so that you can actually set that. You can determine what a rookie is. Now you can turn this off completely if you don't want to see it, but we thought this would make it a lot easier for those of you that were saying, hey, let's do some special acknowledgement for the rookies this week and give me the top 5 rookies for this for week 6 rookie sales. So here you can very quickly see that Brooke, Krista, Jesse, Kristen, and Craig would all be their top 5 rookies for the week. You could do the same thing for campaign to date. You could do the same thing for trade, cash, whatever. So that's how we can add that flexibility in so that you can actually see enough people to get to that top 5 rookies. So you can go in and temporarily change it maybe to the top 50, and you could see everybody in this list, and then you could find the top 5 rookies out of that pile. So we also made that flexibility for the 30 versus, it used to be 10, but some of you with very large campaigns, you have hundreds of individual producers, and the top 10 just wasn't exhaustive enough. You wanted the top 25, and that was very hard to find before. So we've got that flexibility in here. And I'll show you how to set these items in a minute when I show the admin area. You also saw something on there with the budget fiscal year, which I'll get to in a moment, again in the admin area. I want to get into the event summary information now, which is a very interesting new addition or updates and improvements. A lot of people have been asking for these types of things. I'm going to hop back into the current campaign here and go into, let's go into the golf tournament. Okay, now let's switch over to the event summary screen. Lots of improvements there. I'm going to just go back to sell. Notice it's also remembering my last search from before. But I'm going to go into the beverage cart sponsorship for the golf tournament. So this is the product event summary screen. You've got here's the event, the location. The layout of this has been done a little bit better. For those of you on smaller screens, that was having an issue with laying out. It looked very disjointed and was taking up too much vertical space. Then you've got some new links here. The report, it links directly to the report, a filterable tabular view of available products, or you can print this page to a PDF or to paper. So I'll get to that in a moment, but you may see also another new feature here. Contracts and obligations and benefits are on here. So this one has none sold, but if I go down here, one that has one pending, here we go. So here, beverage, beer sponsorship contracts, pending cash sale with, and it has a link to that with the contract. If you are an administrator like I am, it has a link to that. If you have things that are sold to a bunch of different people, you will have all of them listed in there as well. So a huge thing here, because you want to know who else these things have been sold to, if it's pending, if it's cash or trade, all of that is in there as well. So let me hop around here for a moment and find an old campaign that has this information in it. So again, I'm going to go back to the admin area. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to the old campaign, last year's campaign, and actually go into let's go back into the golf tournament so I can see everything that was sold for last year. I'm just going to pick one of these at random. So here we have the catering sponsorship traded with Smoothie King. You've got sold out items, all kinds of different sales going on in here. And here's the whole sponsorship. So I click on that, you see all in the same screen. You see every one of the contracts sold, and then you see some that were actually traded. That is not a duplicate. They wanted 2 holes. So they've got benefits, again, signage, and then obligations are in there as well. So how do I get this out of here? You got a lot of sold out stuff. You got a lot of things. You got this it's called an accordion. Everything expands and contracts on you. How the heck do I get this out of here? Again, print this page. You can hit Control P as well, but we thought adding a link would be make a little more sense. But what you're going to see here on this preview is that this is how it's going to lay out when it prints. So here, everything's expanded. You've got the details. You're viewing this campaign. with the old campaign, but then you have the actual golf tournament, the details, location, all of that lays out much nicer, and then all of the actual sponsorships as they were ordered on the screen. If they're sellable or tradable or sold out, and again, how many available, how many sold, and then all the contract information, benefits, and obligations all the way down. So you have every single one. So this is a great summary report. Again, you can print this out, PDF it, send it around. You can see everything that's going on with the entire event. And if people want to say, hey, let's talk through this, and they don't want to use the computer while they're there, say, oh, hey, let's go in and talk to these guys, but I want to make sure I'm not like, here's traded with Sam's Club and with Echo Water. They're like, oh, forget it. I'm with Mountain Valley Spring Water. I don't want to compete with those guys, so let's pick something else, kind of a deal. So again, a lot more flexibility. Big improvement there. Additional feature that everybody's been asking for a long time. Hope you enjoy that. If you want something added or improved there, again, please let us know. Let's see. Okay, if I actually go into one of these items, let me go back to the current campaign. And let me go into one of these sponsorships again, and let me sell this item. And okay, so the improvement here is that you're going to see additional information in these lists. You have the companies, but previously you had stuff that didn't make a lot of sense in here. So you've got, if I find one of these real fast, 44 Stone Public House. We had some duplicate information. It looked like duplicate information in here, but in fact it was actually different information, different email addresses, different phone numbers. Point is, now you have the authorized buyers now have more detailed information here of who that is and what that information is from. All of this data does get pulled out of your chamber management system, be it with Chamber Master or with SBA or any of the others that are specifically geared for chambers. So again, a little improvement there. Also, when companies are marked as inactive, they're no longer in this list. Previously, they were all marked as active when we just brought them over, but people were finding that confusing, so we've been able to activate, deactivate companies and authorize buyers just to simplify what's going on. Okay, let me hop over into the admin area just to show some details of what's going on in here. So again, let me go into the campaign settings, because this is where kind of most of the updates are wrapped in, and a new feature is showing up just for admins. Let's talk about that for a minute. And here you see this item here. It says display the budget fiscal year field on contracts in the admin area, yes or no. Here we have yes. So what is that? That is all about, that's all. If I edit this campaign, you can actually see the settings here. You've got a couple items. There's a drop down here. No, up here. Up here, display the budget fiscal year field on contracts in the admin area, yes or no. So you choose yes if you want to see this new field called budget fiscal year on your contracts. It's going to be the same year as your campaign, but some of you with bigger campaigns, or you've got a fiscal year that doesn't match with the calendar year or something, maybe you're selling 2019 or 2020 events during 2018, and you want to say, oh, which one is this for? And you're not naming it differently, you're just putting it in a different budget fiscal year, but they all maybe just have the same name. So some of you wanted us to be able to specify that. So here, since that's turned on in this campaign, I want to go into one of these reports. I'm going to click on this one. You see here that I've assigned this one to the budget fiscal year of 2020, even though I'm in 2017 currently. And that's just a new field. If I scroll down here, it's right here, budget fiscal year 2020. And again, you have lots of long descriptions of what the heck this means and what's going on. You can put anything in here you want. It doesn't have to be a date. You could put Q4. You can put Q4 2018. I don't know why you do that, but you can put anything in here you'd like. The point is that this is not visible to the end users, meaning to salespeople if you let them into the system. This is just for you in the admin area and just for your accounting departments, since it's important for them to pull that out. And so that type of information shows up in the contract reports. So if you want to see that on the contract reports, you'd see that in there, so you can easily filter those out and pull those things out. If you want that on other reports, let us know. We certainly can add that there as well. Let me go back to the campaign settings again and go into edit this campaign. And then what we talked about earlier, the leaderboard top individual count to show. Here it's 10. I want to change that to 30. Great, I'm showing the last 30, and then here's so that's the number of items in each list, leaderboard individual count to show. So you can make that 80, you can make that 100, so that would show everybody on that one screen. If you wanted to kind of see a giant summary report, you certainly can do that. The rookie year, again, a couple campaigns have asked us to do this. Thought this was kind of cool. So you could consider a salesperson a rookie if they've been involved in this many campaigns or less. So if this is 3, they're a rookie in this campaign 1, 2, and 3. So some of you may want to say, oh, you're a rookie if you've been doing it for 2 years, so you'd make this a 2. And then anybody who's been involved with the campaign for 2 years or less would show up with that green rookie box on their screen. If you don't want to use this, great. Just uncheck this box that says flag rookies. And again, this only shows up on the campaign leaderboard. If you want it in other places, sure, let us know. But everybody said they wanted it on that leaderboard to see who a rookie was. So thought that would be interesting for everybody there. There was also, when you were editing contracts, another improvement we made when you edit this. If I was editing the contract, we were having an issue here with the product. You were trying to say, oh, that's not for the beer sponsorship, that's for the Bev card sponsorship, something like that. We had all active and inactive things listed in here. So now that still works, see that we have added a tag in here that now you know these products are inactive. So there's no longer a silver sponsorship for the Chamber Ambassador Quarter Meeting for September. Maybe they just got rid of it or something. Now we needed to keep them in here because we want you to be able to come in and edit this thing and still see that they're here. If we did that, if we remove them, we would actually have a problem because if you actually edited a contract and went into this screen, it wouldn't know what to pick because you had a product, and so it would have a blanks here, and it would say choose one, and you try to save it and say, oh, well, where was I? Because again, it was assuming that you had to pick a product that was still active. Now, obviously, if you've got contracts that are already created and the products are just inactive, you don't want that to be removed. So that's why these say inactives, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So you may see stuff. Again, here's a perfect example here. It used to be called plaques and award sponsors, and now it's called plaque sponsors. And they got rid of both of those, and they just made it called it awards somewhere else, or just got rid of it completely. Again, that's just cleaning things up and moving things around. Wanted to make sure that everybody can see those actively and inactively. Okay, several little more things, but they're all just report tweaks, little improvements to reports. I think we even added a new report in here as well, but it wasn't in my notes. We did it a few months ago, but several different improvements in here as well if you wanted to pick through those, and you'll probably see them when you're clicking around on things. So that's all we have for now. Happy to talk about things with you further enhancements or improvements. Thanks for listening to this giant long video, and again, happy to give demos, try to give for new people that have come on board. If you're a new chamber and you're considering EasyTRC, we would love to give you a demo and walk you through this and show you how this is increasing sales for a lot of people and lots of flexibility for campaigns, and showing a history of, I think I've got a campaign in here that's been doing this for 10 years now, so you've got all the data for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a lot of great historical information all the way back. So thanks for listening, and hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.